Before we jump in today's video, one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, how am I so self-aware? And truthfully, I don't think being self-aware was ever really the goal. It was just, the goal really was learning myself more intently. And if I'm being really honest, I was tired of living the way that I was living. I was tired of the same patterns and behaviors that I was displaying and then getting upset after the outcomes as to why did this happen. So with that said, with that notion, I started to journal. I started doing weekly brain dumps. I started voice recording, and I started to notice little behaviors of mine that contributed to situations that shouldn't have had life, but had life, if you get what I'm saying. Because when you're sitting with yourself and you're journaling and you're reflecting on those really uncomfortable things and sitting with yourself and not avoiding yourself, a lot of stuff starts to come up, and you slowly start to observe your patterns and stop observing everyone else's. And that's exactly why I created the Healing Baddies Reset Workbook. When I started my healing, I wasn't looking for another journal. I was looking for something that actually helped me reconnect with myself, and newsflash, couldn't find it. So what did I do? I created it, of course. And it's 30 days of self-reflection. It's the same kind of reflection that helped me become the version of myself you see today. If you're looking for a place to begin, a place to reconnect with yourself, I will leave the link below. Now, on to today's brain dump. Let's talk about how fascinated I am with human behavior. That's something I never expected during my healing, to be so fascinated, not by only my behaviors, but others. And it's not because I have people figured out, and it's not because I want to analyze everybody, and it's definitely not because I think I'm always right, because let's be real, I'm still learning how to listen. But for most of my life, I wasn't paying attention. No. I was honestly just trying to get through the day, making sure everybody was okay, just trying to survive. And we already know what survival mode does to us. Our hypervigilant ones, our overthinking ones, our overgiving selves, us making excuses for everybody. But I will say, along the way, I stopped asking myself, why is this happening to me? I started asking myself, what am I noticing? And that question, it changed everything, because behavior started making more sense than words. Patterns became more interesting than promises. Consistency became louder than potential. And I realized people aren't random. Neither am I. We're patterned. Once you start noticing patterns, it's really hard not to see them anymore. When I look back at my own life, I can see my patterns. I can see where I confuse chaos with chemistry. I can see where I was abandoning myself. I could see where I was hoping that someone would do what they actually said that they wanted to do, but aren't showing up as they say they want to. And I'm not judging you. And I can say that because I'm doing it with myself. I'm finally noticing myself. That's what healing has really been for me. It hasn't been just like, not me fixing my life, not me becoming somebody else, but me actually really knowing who I am, learning how to observe life while life is actually happening. Something else that I notice is that the more I observe, the more compassion I have for myself, for others. Because everybody is responding to something different. Whether it's a story, a wound, a belief, a nervous system. And understanding that does not mean I excuse harmful behavior. It simply means I don't carry what's not mine in the first place. And maybe that's why I love these conversations so much. They're not only lessons, they're observations, things I've been noticing while I am choosing to live my life differently, little by little. Just a little bit. Because the whole reason why I started this content journey of mine was not to tell people how to live. I learned that lesson decades ago. I'm just simply sharing what I've learned in my healing and ways that it's helped me. If anything, it's more of a like I'm documenting my actual healing journey. Healing is not linear. It is something that you will continue to do once you're in it. It's you that's changed. So if the same situation comes up year after year, are you going to revert back to your old patterns, or are you going to implement the new behavior that you have from all of the healing that you've done? All of the reflection, that is where your healing shows up in what you do now after you know what you don't like, what you do like, whatever it may be. So I'm not here to tell you how to live. I'm just sharing what's been helping me in my real life. If something I've been noticing helps you notice something within yourself, then maybe that's why we found each other. If that's the case, I'm really glad that you're here.